right, let's test the audio. Looks like we're in it today. We are analyzing a subject to deal, a subto deal, which means that we're taking over the payment subject to the existing financing. If you're watching Instagram, you always go to youtube.com/@Kent_HG for the full screen version. So I'll do my best to keep it all on the screen here, but it's a little tricky with Instagram being vertical. So let's keep going. Market rents 3,200, 3,400 according to this wholesaler. 4 beds, 3.5 bath. Let's see. 2.75% interest rate. Apparently it's a cash flowing long-term rental. Let's see. Permanent purchasing information. $425,000 is the loan balance. The VA loan maturity in 2049. So it was bought in 2019. So typically if it's a VA loan, it might be a situation where it's a low equity deal, which means that usually in a VA deal, sometimes you might have a 0% down deal and the rest is financed by or backed by the VA. So $2,830 is the monthly payment. Entry fee is $58,580.94. Entry fees high due to arrears on the property, well worth interest rate and potential as a MDR. Okay, I see how they're selling it. All right, so let's take note of that number. We're going to put this up on Zillow. Let's take a quick look at the property and the conditions of the property. Interesting ceiling choice. Maybe that was intentional. I don't know what kind of room this might. This is a bar or movie room. Yeah, it's a movie room. Okay. All right. Outdoor looks fine. Kitchen looks okay. Bathroom, you can probably get away with that. No carpeting. I don't love these flooring tiles, these old Spanish. I'm assuming that's Spanish tiles. It's okay. I mean, I want to set aside money to paint the entire place at $3 a square foot, which is my usual estimate. It's usually from $3 to $350. Laundry machine's already there. Okay. All right. So that gives me a pretty good idea of how the property looks like. Let me see what county this is in. Boom. Is in Ector, ECTOR. All right. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to look up the FMR, the fair market rents for this property. We're going to go to Google HUD FMR, look up small area FMRs, and then we're going to type in Texas. Let's see if we see Ector County. Great. Now we're going to be able to find the fair market rents by bedroom count by zip code, and this is 79761. 79761. A 4-bedroom, according to this website, on HUD's website. The ceiling rent is 2010. 2010. So let me go ahead and write that down. 2010. This is the FMR for 79761. Okay. Now, then I'm going to get the market rents. I'm going to get the market rents by going to the market rent estimator. Yes, sir, Andy. We are back. This is day 99 in a row. I'm just going to keep on going. I hope you're analyzing these deals with me, man. Let's keep doing it together. I don't want to do it by myself, so let's do it together. All right. So what are we going to do? We're going to get the market rents. All right. Right here, it says the market rents for 25 units within a 1.54 mile radius is 2284. 2284. And that wasn't a radius, 1.54. And the reason I'm grabbing all these numbers is that my partners are already familiar with my underwriting process. So they know exactly where these numbers come from, 2347 and then 2349. And this is a 4-bedroom property, so I don't need to get a 3-bedroom property rent since it's already a 4. Now, when I compare 2284 to what HUD says is the fair market rent in 2010, if HUD says this is the rent ceiling, I'm going to assume that that is the maximum rent it can charge. Unless for some reason you are in a expensive area such as New York City, Boston, San Francisco maybe, where they have standard living adjustments where they go above a certain percentage of the fair market rents. So just something for you to pay attention to and to be wary of in case. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is, now that we've got the rents, we got that piece, we're also going to do a quick street drive-by. I don't know this area at all, so I'm going to go do Google Maps. I'm going to do a quick street drive-by really quick. Let's see the street view. Boom. What I'm looking for here is any signs of boarded up homes. Looks like there's some construction going on there. That's always a good sign. If people are flipping properties in the area, it's usually a good sign. This is a cul-de-sac, I'm guessing. All right, this just looks like a very typical neighborhood. What am I near? Some fast food. Okay, some Walmart's over there. Some retail. Some hotels. This is the airport. Okay. Where is Odessa? I've never been there myself. Huh. I'm not sure what's there. So, but looks like it's a pretty suburban neighborhood. The next thing I want to do is I want to look up the crime score in this area. When I go to tophap.com, tophap.com, I can go to neighborhood section and then boom, you'll be able to see the crime score right here, which is 109 for the zip code. Now that's just right above national average. So it's not like super, super high. I've seen areas where it's 130, 140, 150, sometimes even 160. So those are just not good at all. So, all right, this is an okay neighborhood for the most part. That's at least my interpretation of this area. So the next thing is, now that I got all these numbers, I'm going to start plugging in these numbers. Now, what is the purchase price for this property? They have listed at $399,900. Oh, wow. Okay. So here's the thing. If they have a loan balance of $425,140, 425,140, and you see that they're being listed on, here for 400 grand. That means they are in a negative equity situation. So no wonder they are selling on a subject to deal, because otherwise this person might have had to write a check for at least $25,000 plus. Yeah, I'll put this $399. No, I'm going to make the purchase price equal to the loan balance, because that is what you're buying it, right? You're buying auto liability. And then there's also, what's they have? 58,580. 58,580 is the cash to seller. And now I'm going to include some closing costs in there, 2.5%. This is not good. All right. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and add in my rehab. The place looked fine, and seeing as how I'm not going to be adding any value, because look at what I'm doing, right? It's being listed at 400 and the loan balance is 425 roughly. Why would I spend any amount of money renovating the property when I can't add value? Does that make sense? Like, I'm not going to increase the value of the property by renovating it. Am I going to attract a better tenant? Probably. But there's no, if I change the flooring, if I change the home, I better find really good comps nearby. It supports all the increase in value, because right now I'm working from a negative 25,000 equity position because of where the market is, according to where they are. So not the most exciting thing. So I'm gonna leave aside $1,500 for roof repair, and then I'm gonna put in some money for the paint on the place, which was $4,445. What a big house to paint at $3 a square foot. That's like 13 grand. I'm sure you might get a cheaper deal because of such a big house, but still, it's a good amount of a square footage. So that leaves me with 20 grand of rehab, roughly 19,602. I had 40,000 extra because I was doing some modification on the last property. So at 2010 of rent, I'm going to set aside, what's my PITI for this property? 2830.39. It goes 2830.39. And I'm going to subtract that number by the sub 2 principal and the sub 2 interest amount. And that's going to give me $980 left. And I'm going to add an extra $35 for insurance, because usually a insurance policy for an investment property is typically higher. A lot of negative equity properties out there. Yes, there are a lot of negative properties out there. And this is a perfect example, especially if you bought it with essentially no money out of your own pocket, which is a great deal of your VA, but still it's not a great deal if you are in a downturn, which is exactly probably what's happening to the seller here. So I'm going to set aside 10% every single month for maintenance. And then I'm going to have 8% for property management and 3% for vacancy on this house. Now, this is a really, really large home. So it's probably going to be a really, really attractive home because of how much space you're getting, even if this is a Section 8 rental. But for me, I'm using 2010 as my gross rent. And right now, this is going to result in a negative $1,277 cash flow. Man, that's expensive. Unless you're trying to live here, this is clearly not a deal. I mean, honestly, I probably would have stopped. Now, normally I would have stopped underwriting if I saw that one, the PITI was 2,800, and then I went to the HUD's website and I saw 2010, because that already tells me there's no way I'm going to get any cash flow on this deal if my rent and my PIT is that far apart. Normally, you see people saying like, "Hey, this is a cash flowing long-term rental," because they are taking the rent, the gross rent specifically, and subtracting the PITI amount from it. In this scenario, they're saying that market rent is 3,200. On affordablehousing.com, I'm only seeing 2,284, and that's for 25 units within 4 bedrooms. So maybe they know something that I don't, but that's clearly not the case here. All right, awesome. So this is clearly not a deal, but for the sake of the exercise, we could have done all of these ones, but we've been going through a bunch of other exercises with on-market properties, creative finance properties, and this was not even close to being a deal. So this was day number 99 in a row. I hope you all are continuing to stay consistent with me. Let's keep analyzing a deal together every single day. Regardless, it's practice. Underwriting deals is the implied work of getting deals. You don't get to buy deals unless you analyze at least, I don't know, hundreds of them, because for every 100 deals that people buy, they probably don't tell you about 1,000 deals that they looked at and did not buy. And this is just implied work. And I hope by you copying what I'm doing every single day, again, this is not investment advice. I'm simply showing you everything that I'm doing on an everyday basis. And I'm not soliciting any investments. Now, this is going to help you build your own confidence when it's time for you to pull the trigger on a deal. Because I remember when I started, and I was so scared about pulling the trigger on the first deal because I didn't know what a good deal looked like. Well, after you underwrite and analyze so many deals over time, eventually you get to a point where, well, you recognize the deal, especially if it came across your table and slaps you across your face, because you can go back and say, hey, I know what I'm doing. I've been looking at a deal for 18 minutes every single day for the past 365 days. And boom, I'm better at underwriting than probably 95% of America. How cool is that? And if you ever have a partner, and this is the number one reason why people don't get into real estate, is because they think it's a rich person's game or they don't have enough capital. Well, if a partner ever asks you, why do you think this is a deal? At least you can go to them and say, well, I think this is a deal because I've looked at the past 100 deals and they were all not deals. And go look at my own YouTube channel. Right? Well, I hope you guys copy the same deals using the same spreadsheet and DM me on Instagram with your email if you do want to copy of the spreadsheet. I've been very fortunate. I've been given the spreadsheet by other folks, and I've been able to combine a few of them into one spreadsheet and consolidate it so that it underwrites for what I need. So I hope you all are able to use this for what you need and at least review the next step to yourself of what you can do. And I believe that underwriting deals is one of the most important skills that you can have, because how on earth can you possibly invest in a deal if you don't even know how or why it's a deal? All right. So hopefully you all have an amazing day. This has been day 99 of Going Live. What's up, Fuzzy? How you doing, man? This has been day 99 of me going live in a row, analyzing deals every single day. And if this is helpful to all of you, let's keep this going. Maybe I'll just go 365 days in a row and just keep analyzing, because now the habit has been formed. And once you form a habit, it's much easier to keep going. And I understand how hard it is for some folks to analyze a deal live every single day. But you can do it without showing your face. You can just put it on your YouTube channel without making it public. You can put it as unlisted so that when the time comes, you're only showing your YouTube page to your partners. How about that? Right? So don't be shy. Put in the work. This is all part of the work. You have to underwrite and analyze deals every single day, and that's the only way you're going to get better. And that's the only way you can build up these habits. And right now, I'm trying to decide on what my next habit's going to be because so far for the last 100 days, I've been working out every single day, adding to my workout. I feel great. I've been going live every single day for the past 99 days. I feel great. I feel more confident. And right now, I can probably blob out my underwriting process in less than just a couple of minutes, right? My underwriting process 100 days ago was probably about 30 minutes. And now I can finish an underwriting process on live on Instagram here with all of you and on YouTube in less than 12 minutes. So you get better, you get more efficient, but most importantly, you learn what your criteria is and you learn when to stop underwriting a deal. Because one of the biggest ways or fastest ways to burn out is when you do all this work without any sort of rewards from your work. That's how people burn out. So the faster you can develop your criteria for every single market, the faster you can decide when something is not a deal so you stop analyzing it, the less work you have to do for the same result that you're going to get anyways, which is a no to a deal. So have an amazing Sunday, everybody, with your family and friends. Let's keep doing this together. Go live with me every single day. Tag me in your stories because I know how hard it is to gain followers. Thank you so much for caring about affordable housing. Without people like all of you, I would have never had the home that I grew up in. So thank you so much for being a part of it. And thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, your process is 5 minutes? I love that. You should let me see your process, man. You should go live and invite me, dude. That's what you should do. All right. Have an amazing Sunday, everybody. And we will be back here again tomorrow for day 100 in a row of analyzing a deal.